I was just running back to get back on defense, and that's when my calf just it just cramped really bad, and it just brought me right to the ground. We kind of thought maybe electrolytes I was just lacking electrolytes, just not drinking enough, not having enough oxygen get into my blood that's producing for my muscles to work well. And so it was just, yeah, we kind of thought, we'll just take 3 days off. We were heading into the weekend, and we had a road game coming up in Butte, so we were just like, we'll just rest for the next few days and just should be good by then.
The hardest part, obviously, was before the diagnosis, not knowing what was wrong, and then starting to hear the doctors and people we would see saying, well, we're not really sure what's going on, but this, it's really not good. And then they started floating the whole thing about, her possibly losing her foot the further we got into it, and that was just crushing.
I remember countless nights just coming home, and I had no idea what to think, because being told at 17 years old that you might lose your lower leg, you don't know how to even handle that or how to even hear those words and, process them, because, that's life-altering forever. And it was probably around that time that I was like, oh my gosh, basketball was just taken away from me just like that. It was just like one game.
Once we got the diagnosis, I remember we went back to the hotel and we were all like, and we were just celebrating because we finally have an answer. We finally know something.
It wasn't like a good diagnosis. We were just happy that
we were just like,
okay,
we have an answer.
Move forward with.
So now we have something to work with.
I think it's easy to take whatever sport you're in for granted, and I definitely think that I kind of did that a little bit with high school. I just kind of came in and was like, I'm a healthy athlete, I do everything right, I'm eating well, drinking a lot, and I'm always in the gym shooting, so I kind of took it for granted in the sense of just not really cherishing it all the way.
Look at it from her perspective in her shoes. You ask yourself, what do you love to do? For her, that's basketball. She lives, eats, and breathes basketball. So to get that diagnosis and to essentially not be able to use her foot the way that she could before was devastating for her.
She definitely was down, but I just have never seen a tougher kid at her age handle something so huge, such a huge thing to happen to you in your life.
Kendall Keller at Havre, everybody says that the more and more you play, sometimes you get burnt out, but she even said that it's the opposite for her. The more and more she plays, the more and more she falls in love with it, and that's kind of the same for me too. So the more and more I'm in the gym, it's a funny relationship because I get so mad that I can't play. So I have a love-hate relationship with basketball for sure right now. There's even been times where I'm like, no, maybe I just need to, this is not what God wants me to do, maybe I just need to hang the shoes up, and every single time I try to do that, I'm find myself in the gym, working even harder.
Facing me with the ball, so you can dribble, but I want you to take 2 or 3 steps to the right, so you're shuffling kind of diagonal. You're going to stop on the 3rd step, and then diagonal to your left. I don't take this lightly when I say this, but she's easily one of the more complex cases that I've had to deal with. Good. And coming right. And coming back. This way. Next week, we're gonna go back into doing some of this stuff without your AFO, so it's gonna be a lot harder. With the amount of swelling she had for as long as she had in her lower leg, that basically damaged some of the nerves down her leg that control her foot and her ankle. So essentially what we're doing is sticking needles close to the nerves, and we're stimulating the nerves with electrical activity. We're doing anything we can to get those nerves fired back up so that she can then use it functionally out here. If they figure out where you're weak, they're gonna exploit it. Because you're weak nowhere, right?
Nowhere. I don't even know what that word means.
I love it. What is your word for the year?
Relentless.
Why?
Because that's what I am. My mom told me I'm annoyingly relentless.
I love that. I had her pick a word this year, and her word's relentless, and I think it's so fitting because her attitude is absolutely relentless. She's gonna do whatever it takes. It looks solid. The only thing I'm slightly concerned about with that right leg is there are times when you are blatantly avoiding it. I think it's a very difficult question to answer, especially with nerve injuries. I could not say with absolute certainty to 100% clarity that she is going to get to that extreme level that she was at before, but it's not impossible. And we all have hope that with what she's doing, we're going to continue to strive to seek that level. Her goal is to play college basketball. I'll do everything in my power to get her to that point. So. Do a 90-degree turn towards me. Once you hit that 90 degrees, you're gonna hit that jump shot. So your feet need to leave the ground just a little bit, and don't tell me you can't do it, I've seen you do it. You're pivoting 90 degrees, so you're starting here, around your right foot. Yep, another one, a little faster. Eyes up, very good. All right, good job. Good luck tonight. Have fun. I'll see if I can sneak over there.
I think you did a lot.
Do not airball. You won't. You won't. I know you won't.
Every single person I talked to, them included my parents, Cole, my doctors, we always just kept preaching that it was just one day at a time. We couldn't jump to 4 months down the road because we didn't know what 4 months down the road held, or let alone 3 days later, we didn't know what that was gonna look like. So they've just preached one day at a time. I think giving athletes a voice to, share and motivate other athletes out there is the biggest thing. And I think that's just the best support you can get is from one another. And yeah, I got a lot of motivation from other athletes. I mean, it wasn't just for them either. It was kind of a, you could say, coping mechanism for me too, because I felt in a way alone in the sense of, when I came to practice, there was nobody else sitting out. I mean, having nerve damage at 18 years old is something that you would never think you'd have to, face. And it's really hard to, go through something where, you just want your leg to work and it just won't. There's no signals. And so I think having those other athletes out there, even tell their story to me has been so motivating to me to keep pushing through and work harder. And seeing other athletes work through, predicaments in life and getting back to their sport has really been motivating for me too, so.
As a mom, it's really hard to see, her child go through something like that, and, to be tough when I need to be tough and lovey when I need to be lovey, and that was hard too, and I had to be like, no, you're going to school, it's okay, you'll be fine. And then to feel like, oh my gosh, why can't this girl just stay home? She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
And then the give and take, and just, when she did get frustrated or upset, to tell her it's okay. It's okay to be mad.
It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to cry. It's okay to,
And then come back around and pray about it, ask for
some answers,
some
and some guidance.
And
Yeah.
I think that was probably the biggest thing for us too, is just like hanging on to our faith and you know, trusting that no matter what happens, that God's gonna bring us through us and there's gonna be an answer in the end. Actually, I made the decision right before summer to start seeing a counselor, and I think that has been one of the biggest and smartest things I've ever decided to do for myself, because you always like to act like, you know, hard times don't get to you, but I think that I wasn't giving enough credit to what I went through for the last year, and so seeing her kind of help me reopen those doors that I needed to open and process them, and you know, feel those emotions that I didn't necessarily feel in the moment, and that's been a really big help to me. And I think mental health is so important when you're going through severe injuries or just like anything in life. I think everybody could see a counselor and it would benefit them in one way or another.
From day one, I think her first question was, when can I get back on the court? And I love that. It just shows you her mentality, her mindset right now. So ultimately getting back to basketball has been huge for her. But I think also through this process, it's been very eye-opening for her to see that there are some things in life that we can't control. And she has faith on the side of this, and she's starting to see that, you know, ultimately if it got to that point where she wasn't able to play, she's coming to terms with that. I think her faith has helped her with that. So almost prioritizing what she values in life the most, and I think that seeing that journey through this process has been huge, even for me, and it's been very impactful for me as well.
You know, we knew we were getting close. We had a practice, like just a shoot around a couple weeks ago, and she kind of played a little half court. And I think she finally was like, I think I'm ready. And I know her PT was just kind of waiting for her to ask. And so when I heard, like, she texted me and she was like, Nolte, all capital letters. And I was like, what? And she came into my classroom and told me the good news, and it was just pure excitement. It's been super emotional, but everybody has been so excited to see her back. I mean, the support that I've seen from just across this whole state has been just amazing. Everybody's excited to see her back, so it's pretty fun to watch from a close vantage point.
Well, it started last night when we kind of before bed, we were just looking at each other, we're like, well, you know, if I pass out,
Yes.
at the tip off, you know, make sure you like help me, you know.
Yes.
And I told Crystal, if I pass out, yeah, well, good luck with that. Good luck with catching me. But yeah. But tonight, yeah, we just kept looking at each other, and I mean, definitely before she got on the court, we were just so excited. I mean, I can't even describe how excited we were to hear her name and for the crowd to,
Well, just
you
to
know,
see her over across the gym,
yeah,
in a, you know, in her headband, you know, and the jersey, and smiling and gathering the girls, and, you know, bringing them in together. And I was nervous for her, but I knew that she was ready.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And it was just very happy, enjoyable for sure.
Returning to action tonight, exactly 1 year from when she was at the Mayo Clinic, where she was diagnosed with popliteal artery entrapment, a disorder that almost cost her her leg. She returns tonight after this serious injury and a lengthy recovery. A 5'7" senior captain, number 24, Gabby Weber!
thought, yeah. It was that collective, oh.
I wish, yeah, that would have been cooler if I made it, but that's okay. I had some rust I had to shake.
Of course, yeah.
Just seeing the smile on her face is worth it to me. It just brings it back to why I do what I do. We get people to move better, perform better, live better, and ultimately seeing that has been huge. So.
The basketball community, I mean, I can't thank the teams around this state who have reached out to me and who have sent me gifts and posters that they've signed things, and the Havre basketball team has been the classiest team I have ever seen, I think. And that just goes to show you that basketball is not just a game to Montana, especially. It's kind of family, when a player is down, you all pull together and you're pulling for each other and you're supporting. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me, and the thing that's motivated me to keep pushing is, other teams telling me not to give up.
And for your Belgrade Lady Panthers, number 24, Gabby.
I would probably say my advice would be to hold on to the word Hooper Nikeo, and I think that word really got me through the toughest times of my life, because that word means to be more than a conqueror. And Nike actually comes from the word Nikeo, which means to conquer and to overcome. And so I think that has been the biggest thing for me, is holding on to that word. Whenever I was feeling down and I didn't want to do it anymore and I didn't want to keep fighting, I always told myself and repeated that word in my head. And I told myself to be more than an overcomer, and just to keep doing what I need to do and to keep pushing. I have 3 P's that I always want to live by, and that's to pursue, persevere, and to be patient. And that last one's really hard to have.
Patience is really
Patience has been probably the biggest thing that's been tested for me in this trial. And I think if you can overcome that and be patient in things, I think that you have a pretty good shot at overcoming a lot of things in life. And it's all about just being a Hooper Nikeo more than a conqueror.